in-depth how to do a cut crease, and I'm going to help the hooded eye girls too, girls and boys. First tip, especially if you have hooded eyes, after you put on your darkest color, which I do mine first. If you want to see my blending video, go to the video before this of how I get my eyeshadow so vibrant. When your eyes are relaxed, completely relax your eyes and make sure that darkest shade is still peeking up above your hood. I have semi-hooded eyes. I don't have severely hooded eyes, so mine's a lot easier, but you have to work with your eye shape. All right, now that I have like my base shadows down, we're gonna start cutting the crease. The first thing you're gonna need is a concealer brush. It can be any concealer brush, but make sure that it's super sharp. So just use your fingers and make it super, super sharp and flat. It kind of helps if you have like a little bit of leftover product on it. I use this to put down my eyeshadow base, so it has the eyeshadow base on it to like keep the bristles all intact and flat. The next thing you're gonna need is Vaseline. And I learned this trick from P. Louise. I took one of her online classes over the summer. I love this trick. It is so, so, so good. I love it way better than micellar water, because when you go in with micellar water, if you bump and you make a mistake, it's really, really hard to fix it. But when you bump and make a mistake with the Vaseline, you can literally just go back in with your eyeshadow, pat it on over, and then try to cut your crease again, and it's gonna look exactly the same. It's not gonna get all nasty and weird. So just like everyone else has shown you, put the Vaseline on your lid and look up, and that's where you're going to cut your crease. Now if you have hooded eyes, I have semi-hooded eyes, I cut a little bit higher than that. So the key here is to make sure that you can still see the Vaseline when you're looking straight on. Right now it's hard to see because of my lights and stuff. I can still see my Vaseline, so this is a good cut for me. Now using a piece of toilet paper or paper towel or a dried makeup wipe, wipe off exactly where you just cut that crease. You shouldn't be able to wipe off anything else except for exactly where that Vaseline was, so it's okay for you to not have like a super steady hand right here. It just cuts it right out for you. Now that all that pigment is gone, you can see if you need to cut a little bit higher, if you need to go back in and add a little bit more shadow, whatever you need to do. Mine seems good for what I'm going for right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with my concealer. Try to use a thicker concealer for this, because the thicker it is, the easier it is to cut your crease. I don't really know why, but that's just the way it is. And I just go in and I start patting the product all over my lid, and then I start cutting my crease. So once again, my brush is super, super flat, and I'm just gonna go in and follow that line. And I use concealer over an eyeshadow base, because when I use eyeshadow bases, they tend to not take the pigment that I put on top of it as well. I don't really know why. And to avoid this harsh line, just take your whatever eyeshadow brush you're using before and just tap it on the edge, and it'll blend it right out. Don't do anything other than just tap though. Now finish the eye off however you see fit. I'm going for a matte look today, so I'm gonna put matte all over. That's it. If you can't do it, that's not what defines whether you're good or not at makeup, but you got this. I believe you got this.